So I'm doing this video because I wanted to give it a little update on what happened earlier today. As you've seen probably from the earlier videos, Regina and I decided to go up to Morel Falls today for a hike. We hiked all the way in there and came out, and as we were hiking out, we noticed that there was definitely thunderstorms to the south of us, I guess. Anyhow, the sky was looking pretty dark, pretty black. We were actually sort of praying that it would rain a little bit on us, for the rest of the hike out. It'd help keep things cool, but anyhow, that didn't happen. When we did make it back to the car, we were the only car left in the parking lot of the trailhead itself. However, just down the road, we did notice one car that was parked on the side of the road, little green Subaru, nobody in it, so obviously we figured they were off hiking somewhere. We drove down the road a little bit. Everything was fine. Didn't have any problems. We're back in the mountains. We're in the on the tail edge of the Barb Marshall Wilderness. A couple years ago, there was a big fire in the Seeley Lake area, and it was, I'm not exactly sure how big the fire was, but it definitely lasted for a couple of weeks, if I remember correctly. Anyhow, as we were driving out of there today, we actually drove through a portion of that fire area. There is a ton of beetle kill and dead trees from the fire. As we were driving through, we came around a little bit of a turn, corner there, and as soon as we came around the turn, I saw one tree go down up in front of us, up the road a little ways. And I didn't really think that much about it. However, as we got closer, I told Regina, and I was like, hey, the tree just fell. And then we started noticing that there was trees falling everywhere. We had the windows down in the car, and you can hear trees just cracking and snapping and popping. It was a house of matchsticks. They were just coming down. And it was the scariest thing that I've ever seen and witnessed. It was neat to watch the wind take all these trees down. However, it's a real scary situation when you're in it. You're literally in it. We drove up close to the tree that was in front of us. We immediately turned around knowing that we couldn't get past the tree. And we started to head back, but our exit route heading back was blocked. There's numerous trees down behind us, and so we were literally trapped up there on that mountain. So we turned back around again, thinking that possibly we might be able to go up there and figure out a way to get around that tree, or possibly be able to move it. However, the wind lasted, I would say, approximately a good solid 10 minutes when it was just howling. I mean, just howling. Our video shows, some of the other earlier videos, it shows how strong the wind was, and it was pretty intense, to say the very least. We actually we were so worried that trees were going to fall on us, on us and on top of the car. And we were driving Regina's little Toyota Corolla. And so we got into a position, it was the only position in the road that there wasn't hardly any trees to our right. However, there was quite a few trees to the left of the road, and there for a minute, a lot of those trees in that area were falling. They were falling crazy. I mean, crazy. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. So I got out of the car and looked around. The thunderstorm was moving through, a lot of lightning. So I got back in the car for a little bit, and I realized that with our forward, we were trapped. We were literally trapped. There was no going forward. There was no going backwards. The trees that were in our way were way too big. So the only thing that we could do, and because of the intensity of the wind and because of the intensity of the dangerous situation, I immediately got on the phone and called 911. Thank God there was cell service there. Did get a hold of 911. We told them what was going on. There for a minute, they thought that we were not in Missoula County. The dispatcher made comment that she was going to transfer us to Powell County, which I have to look up and find out exactly where Powell County is. I don't recall. Anyhow, so we stayed there for a little while. We just had to stick it out. We searched the car. The only thing that we had is Regina had a brand new 150-foot roll, I think it is, of 1,100 pound rated paracord, and that was the only rope or anything that we had in her little car. So we attempted to try to move the first tree that was in front of us. We actually did hook it up to the car, and we hooked it up to the smaller end of the tree, the top end of the tree, and we were actually able to drag it and move it a little ways. However, we kept getting hung up on a stump, and so we had nothing other then I didn't know what to do, and so I figured somehow we got to get this tree moved, and so all I had was my old trusty faithful. So I actually went hacking on that tree with this big knife, and I got a good ways through it. I was just about not too far from getting through that tree when finally we saw headlights coming down the road towards us. I started running down there and realized that when I got close to the truck that it was the sheriff deputy, and he was clearing out trees. He had a chainsaw with him. He cleared out some trees that were down there towards his end. When I got up to him, he told me that there was trees all the way down the road that he had been having to cut, and it was taking him a while to get through, but he did make it. And be honest with you, I'm actually really surprised how quick he was able to get up there to us. So I helped him. He was cutting the trees. I helped him move the trees out of the road. He finally got up to the tree that was in front of us, the last tree that was in front of us, and as we were cutting that up and getting it thrown out of the side of the road, a gentleman was coming up the road from behind us, and come to find out, this was the guy that was in the green Subaru. Apparently he's from Hawaii. He was freaked out, to say the least. He's never seen anything like that before, but then again, neither have I. I've spent a lot of time in the mountains before. I've gone through many storms, and I have never in my entire life seen that many trees drop at once. This is no joke, people. There was at least, literally, in our immediate area that we were around, I would say at least 30 trees fell within a 5 or 10 minute time. Never knowing which way they were going to blow and fall, always thinking that they might fall on us. It was a very intense, scary situation. When that guy came up behind our car, walking up the road, Regina told him, don't leave, that there's a sheriff there, and he was cutting the road and clearing the road. Apparently, there was another pickup or at least one other vehicle behind him. I understand it might have been even 2 other vehicles behind him. So thank God, once they got the tree out of our way, we were told to go ahead and drive on out. However, the sheriff did tell us that we couldn't drive all the way out to the highway. There was power lines down on the highway, and the sheriff's department got a hold of a private property owner down towards the highway and had that guy open up his gate, and we were able to travel through some private property and get back into Cedar Lake, into town. I want to say that I was definitely freaked out. I was definitely freaked out. Like I said, I've never seen so many trees drop at one time. Regina was freaked out just as much as me. However, actually, all said and done, she handled it like a trooper. She did really well. It was the most intense, insane thing that we'd ever experienced, either one of us. We literally, I guess you can say, had our life, death was knocking at our door today. But we escaped the Grim Reaper, and we're here to talk about it. Anyhow, just wanted to give you an update on what was going on and how today ended. On one further note that sort of sucked is I had left my Toyota here parked in Bonner, and after coming back here to Bonner, somehow apparently I left the back rear dome light on earlier today, and so I came back to a dead battery. So thankfully there was some people I found here at the truck stop that was kind enough to offer me and give me a jump, so the truck fired right up, so no problem. Anyhow, this sort of concludes this little video. This is just my private little video of sort of a rundown of what happened today. Pretty intense, people. I mean, it was a really intense day. Regina and I definitely had a fun day. We started off going to Cedar Lake. We spent some time there swimming and enjoying the sun and the weather. And then we were going to go to another lake, Cottonwood Lake. And that's where we were actually headed when we passed the turnoff to Morel Falls. And I happened to make comment to Regina that it was a place I've been wanting to take her to, and so we decided to go ahead and go on up there today and hike up. I hadn't been there. It's been over 4 years since I've been to Morel Falls last. So I definitely forgot how far it was in there. I was thinking it was like maybe a half mile to a mile hike to back in there. Well, I guess I'm going to check my maps, but we were told by some other people that were hiking out that it was about 3 miles in. So we did about a 6-mile round trip hike today. It was good. It was really good. Regina did really well. She was a little sore from the hike, but then again, so was I a little bit. We definitely got a lot of sun today. So that definitely took a little bit out of us, and then we had our incident with the trees and the wind coming out of there. So it's been a very eventful day. We had fun though. Regina and I are still tripping on what happened today and how crazy things were, but tomorrow we plan on, well, we're not exactly sure what we plan on doing yet, but we're going to go find another adventure. So that's Regina and I. We just love to go find our adventures. So anyhow, that's it. Me signing off. Have a good one.